But in actual fact, if you look at this individual's nose, you can see that there's different sizes, colors, and depths of vessels. And here again, much as we discussed earlier, where we break things down with components, we're going to do this. And in actual fact, I did this patient a few times to get to the level of the after photograph. And I've written down the specific parameters we're using there, but in actual fact, we've used higher and lower fluences, higher and lower pulse durations, and smaller and larger millimeter spot sizes. But just to review that, remembering that the darker the vessel, the more it sucks in that light. So you can use your lower fluences. So for example, with a large vessel on the nose, such as the one we see on the left side of the nose here, we might use only 100 or 90 joules per centimeter squared. But because it's quite large and deep, we use a bigger spot size, 7 millimeters. And because it has to, the heat has to linger there for a while to go from light to heat to squeeze off that vessel, I might use 40 or 45 milliseconds. And yet, on the very tiny ones, like the background erythema, on the other hand, we may go ahead and use the same parameters we use with the Genesis. And in fact, we did do that. So if you do that, you get usually very quick, good results. Sometimes if you're picking up too much of the light, you can get a little crust. And so it's important to start low and go high. And what I usually do is that, I'll do a pulsar, so maybe 10 or 20 joules less than I expect will work, and see what sort of response I get, and then build it up. And then once you've done the large vessels, then you go to the next set of vessels and the next set of vessels. And this patient has really 4 different layers of vessels when you look at them closely.